Give me 1 second, 3 minutes ago. So,
that's all right. The star of the show is me around here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and you are in the Prog Corner. Welcome to the, I don't know, what is this, like the 90th straight week? We have done the Sunday live prog stream, and today, he's making a late entrance. You see how this works, Scott? Morgan, the bass player and drummer from sometime in February. I think we know who the star of the band is, right? The dude who's late. Oh, let's see. Here he is. It's none other than Tristan, man, from sometime in February, calling from the tour bus, right? How you doing, Tristan?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having us. We have our first day off here on tour. We're out in Dodge City, Kansas right now.
Okay, so last night, in case you guys are living under a rock or something, Tristan is on tour with Between the Buried and Me. They played Omaha last night at the Waiting Room, a great venue, by the way. I love that place. You can catch the band tomorrow night in Albuquerque, right, Tristan?
Yeah, that's right. That's Sunshine Theater in Albuquerque. So, making quite a drive tonight.
Sunshine Theater in Albuquerque tomorrow. And then the tour stops at Tucson, the Rialto Theater there. And then it's off to sunny California. How's the tour been going so far?
It's been awesome. It's been some work. We're playing quite a lot of music each night. But honestly, we're all mentally and physically prepared for it. So we're having a good time so far. It's been great.
Cool. We are talking about instrumental prog today. And I've got some guests here, Tristan. I've got Kiefer Livingston all the way from Florida. No,
I'm not from Florida. No, I'm not from Florida.
We're keeping your actual location a secret. Like your date of birth. You're in Tennessee, right? No. Wait a second. You're in Alaska somewhere. You keep bouncing around like around. You can't find Kiefer.
Secret. Yeah, whatever. I am somewhere in Ohio.
You didn't need to tell us that.
And I have disclosed
two Ohio. We got two Ohios here, so that's what I was trying to not divulge. But that's all right. He's not getting preferential treatment because he's from Ohio. I promise you that. But you know who does get preferential treatment around here? It's the Prog couple, boys and girls. It's Cody. It's Tara. Welcome back to the show. It feels like forever since you guys have been here.
Yeah, it has been forever.
It's been a while, but we're glad to be back.
No, we've been big timing it, hobnobbing with all the superstars of the prog world, the Royna Stoltz of the world and stuff, feeling all big and high and mighty here in the Prog Corner. But, I'm just so excited to have as my guest today, Tristan Scott Morgan from sometime in February. I reviewed the album a couple months ago. And if you know anything about the Prog Corner, I don't just review anything because I don't like hurting people's feelings. This is the album. Where Mountains Hide. It's on Inside Out Music. It's outstanding. I love it. We're going to play a track off it a little bit later, but I kind of want to get to the meat and potatoes of this episode. I want to talk about why we don't necessarily need vocals in prog. We just don't, man. I love a good vocal track as much as the next guy, but sometimes we just want to listen to some music without those nasty little vocals getting in the way. So, Scott Barber, what says you?
Yeah, I like instrumental music, obviously. I'm in an instrumental band. My last band was also instrumental. It's just something about letting the music do the talking that I just enjoy it. Now, I like vocal music plenty too, but I don't know. Between the three of us, I feel like none of us have been like, oh, I really feel like singing, but it is what it is.
It could happen. Tristan could wake up one day and say, hey, you know what? I wrote a song and I'm going to sing it. Do you see that ever happening in the band, Tristan?
It's doubtful. It would take quite a bit for us to make that change. No, I mean, for one, I don't really sing. In fact, I'm singing for the first time ever by doing some backing vocals on this tour. But that's kind of a big deal for me. So taking the lead or doing anything like that might be a while.
Now, not only are you clicked up with these guys via your being a touring member of Between the Buried and Me, which must be kind of cool to say anyway, right? Like, yeah, that's no big deal, right? That's kind of cool. But you got Chuck or Paul Wagner from the band actually appears on this album. Was that like something he was happy to do, or did he have to bribe him or something to appear on the album?
You know, it was funny. I mean, I've known him for a few years, and we've been pals, so I knew I wanted to get him involved to some degree at some point for something like that. But, you know, in the time that I had asked if he'd be down to do it, we had, you know, I was doing the last tour with them last year, and it seemed like the right time. Like, hey, I'm playing, you know, 2 albums of your music. You want to write maybe a 20-minute solo for one of my songs? He made it hard to say. It was hard for him to say no, but no, he was very happy. He was very willing. And of course, he appeared in the music video as well, which, you know, we didn't need him to do, but, you know, we were like, hey, if you want, you could do this, you know, we're doing some silly little video, and he was all in, and that was pretty cool. So
the video called The Bad Fight, and it's actually getting quite a few views on YouTube. The video with him appearing in it's got like close to 100,000 views, which you know, I know firsthand is not easy to do, to get those kind of views on the good old YouTube. And really, really interesting how both of you guys, I guess, kind of come from the same stomping grounds, right? I mean, they're Raleigh-based band. Where are you guys from? Because when I reviewed the album, I said you were from Charlotte, and I don't know why I said that. No one ever told me that you guys were from Charlotte, but I don't.
No, that's correct. I mean, mostly correct. Because me and Morgan live in South Carolina, and Tristan lives in Charlotte. So since he's the big star of the band, so to speak, like we said earlier, we say we're from Charlotte or just Carolina-based. Works
there you go. Yeah, I like that. Carolina-based.
In the same city.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our go-to is Carolina-based. You know, I've lived in the Carolinas my whole life, but yeah, I've been in Charlotte for the past few years, so that's what I consider home.
So Morgan, we're talking about instrumental prog here, right?
Absolutely.
Talk to me about your early musical influences, why you gravitated towards being in bands that don't have singers, and let's get the ball rolling. Let's rattle off some of your favorite instrumental bands, albums, songs. I don't care. We're talking instrumental prog, and Morgan, you got the floor.
Yeah, so like influences, like I grew up listening to all scopes of music. Like I grew up listening to hip hop, R&B, classic rock, metal, you name it. And I don't know, something that's like all my family's musicians. So musicianship is always something that's stuck out to me. I've done some singing and some screaming in bands in the past, but I don't know, things like Animals as Leaders and like Plenty always kind of drew me in. I just love seeing that like virtuosity and odd time signatures. Just how crazy can you make this part? Always really like drew me into that thing. So when hit my desk. So when Tristan actually came to me with this project, I'm like, yo, this is exactly what I want to do. Like, it's just like the most, I don't like, forgive me for saying this, but it's like almost the most childlike genre of music. You just get to play, have fun, and just lose yourself in the music. And that's the thing that's kind of led me into the prog world.
I love it. And I don't take offense at it because I'm the guy that says the two greatest genres of music ever invented were punk and prog rock. punk is simple and stupid, and prog is complicated and stupid.
Or sometimes the opposite. You never know.
So that, and no offense there at all. And Animals as leaders, I can hear a little bit of that in the music. Absolutely. How about you, Scott? Were you listening to any of those types of bands?
Yeah. So like I said, I have a whole list. I'm not going to go.
Let's hear. Okay, let's get a list going.
This second, but I mean, I also have Animals as leaders in Plenty on my list, as well as Scale the Summit pretty high up there. I saw Animals as leaders on their first tour ever in 2009, I want to say, and it was awesome. I told Tosin, like, you're the best guitar player I've ever seen in my life, even better than John Petrucci. And he was like, no one's better than John Petrucci. But
I wonder how many times every night Tosin hears that when he gets off stage. Like, oh my God, I've never seen anybody play like that before.
Yeah, that was cool. Just material from their first album. So it was kind of before he like reinvented modern prog guitar with all the and stuff, the more of like the bass playing techniques. But I mean, even back then he was an absolute virtuoso. And I also, they have some instrumentals, but Between the Buried and Me is a band I've been listening to since high school. So it was extra cool to have Paul come to the studio while I was there and, track the solo before my very eyes. Now, Tristan's been, friends with those guys for a little while now. So I'm sure the little bit of fanboyness he might have had been gone by that point. But I was still like big-eyed, like, wow, it's Paul Wagner right before the studio. Been listening to these guys for 15 years or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with Morgan that I like music that makes me think. Like, what are these guys doing? Like, that's what I enjoy with prog music. So that's part of why. It's just trying to figure out what the heck these dudes are doing, how they're making stuff that sounds so cool.
And the voice is just another instrument anyway. So to me, it's just the choice of what instrument you're going to use in what band. Not every band has the same instrumentation. So to me, it's not that big a deal. I've never really had a problem with it. When I was a little kid, I never really distinguished between, bands that had vocals, bands that didn't. I just thought music was music. So, yeah, I think someone pointed out to me after I'd had the Six Wives of the Henry VIII that, even though there's some oohs and ahs in the background, that there's no singing on the album. And I'm like, really? Okay. It was all music to me. So, Kiefer, you've got a slideshow, don't you?
Yeah, you want to go through my list right now?
I want a slideshow. I want some whiz bang.
How about hold on, Scott. Yeah. How about you let everybody else go? So if I have to because I think I may have stepped on a couple people's picks because my guess is everybody except you is going to have Dream Theater, and I want to be able to change it later. So that's a spoiler for one of my picks, but I want to be able to change.
You don't get the ability to do that. You got to think on your feet and be able to, maneuver and sidestep. Oh, but that's okay.
You made the choice.
If you guys want to change for me, that's fine.
If our picks overlap, like that just means we are clearly picking the best bands.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead, put it on up.
Again, you see what I deal with here, boys and girls. You see what I have to deal with.
Putting you through the ringer on your own show.
Oh, I know. It's hard to deal with sometimes.
All right,
it really
best
is.
Instrumental prog songs. Before you go to the next
Take it away, Kiefer. The show is yours, as per usual.
These are all 21st century picks. I didn't plan it that way, but I have a personal rule of nothing under 5 years for these.
Okay.
Because you never. For all I know, the next Close to the Edge could come out tomorrow, and we won't be talking about the stuff we're talking about now. So that's just a rule that I have with these lists. And
we lost Tristan, by the way. He'll be back.
I'm sure he'll come back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
And these are all from vocal albums. I wanted to do that just so because it's an instrumental song on a vocal album, and then I'd run into how much fusion do I want to pick in instrumental prog, and then I'd go crazy. So none of that.
No going crazy on the prog corner. No, sir.
My number 5 here is the most obscure choice I have. Some of you may know this band. If you don't, you should. Sonus Umbra, Grotesquerie from 2016 Beyond the Panopticon. Many of you will know this band because the legendary Louis Nasser.
Louis Nasser, the Mexican Nightmare.
If you think my takes are bad, if you think I'm harsh, Louis Nasser is the harshest critic.
We love Louis, but he's dead wrong about 70% of the time he opens his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
But he's funny though.
I love him though.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's
very nice guy too.
Incredible bass player.
This opens the 2016 album Beyond the Panopticon. They have probably 8 albums, the most recent of which Whiteout, highly recommended. That's all instrumental, pretty much. This is the opener to Beyond the Panopticon. It's by far the best track on the album. It's not even close. I like the vocals, but it's by far the best. Hits you in the face right from the beginning of the record. Very prog. Very heavy. It's not quite, I wouldn't call it prog metal, but a really strong opener. I do believe you have to go to Bandcamp or something else to get this anymore, because I think they pulled some of their stuff from streaming. But okay, there you go. So support Sona Sombra, great band out of Chicago. Next, number 4, my first of 2 Laser's Edge Sensory releases, because I, as always, we have to support King Golden. Haken, Portals, off Vision. This is my second favorite Haken album. My favorites are still Aquarius and Visions. I still think they're the best Haken albums, not even close. This album has 2 instrumentals. I could have chosen either one of them, but I went with Portals because I wanted to pick something in the middle of the album that wasn't the opener, the instrumental overture, and I want to pick that. This instrumental is nuts. This instrumental is absolutely awesome. I could have gone with Premonition too off this record. Great instrumental. Yeah. This is a great album. I don't know. Go buy this in Aquarius. And
if you don't know Haken, you're on the wrong channel.
Yes, that's right, Ian. Haken. Go buy Haken, Ian. Now,
amazing.
Next.
Yeah. I should clarify.
Keep it snappy, Keeper.
Okay, never mind. Number 3. This is where I'm going to step on some people's takes. Porcupine Tree, Wedding Nails off.
Love it.
I'm not going to say this is my favorite Porcupine Tree album. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
This instrumental is actually, I was listening to it this morning with the earbuds on, and it had the guitar come in one ear, and there was water in the earbud, so I couldn't hear the guitar riff. And I'm like, where is this noise? But hold on. Scott, make Ian's comment big.
Okay.
That last one.
Well, I haven't had the comments on which one.
His
about
one on
the instrumental.
Oh.
Ross is a fan of this channel, so I don't know.
Ross is awesome.
I was about to also say, hey man, those are our label mates, and we will not tolerate Ross slander on our appearance here.
The only reason we're not going to war right here, right now over that comment is because Ian has been a supporter of this channel for a long, long time. Otherwise, I'd be pretty upset by that.
I gotta say,
no.
I've seen Haken live, and Ross is one of the best frontmen I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever.
He's incredible. And he's a nice guy. So leave Ross alone.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Ian, don't do it. Don't go there.
I will defend Ross till the day I die. I will defend the unique voice guys till the day I die. I might be the only person on the planet that has James LaBrie in their top 10 vocalists ever.
I love James LaBrie. I don't know why people give him so much heat. I honestly don't. I love him. I think he's amazing. What's the problem with James LaBrie? Seriously. I'm with you, Kiefer. We agree for once.
Yeah. What happened to the thing?
Oh, here we go. I took it away because I wanted to see people's faces. Okay, you ready?
Well, you still can. They're just on the side.
There you go.
Really good instrumental. Really creative. Great guitar riff. Spoke it heavy. Not like Fear heavy, but it's heavy. Yeah. So next, number 5. I have to click it. This the other out there pick off of originally off of Laser's Edge Records and now on Inside Out. Riverside Reality Dream 1 and 2 from, I believe, from my favorite Riverside album, Out of Myself. What's the deal with all these bands putting out their best records when they're on Ken Golden's label? I have no idea why.
It's the Ken Golden magic.
He must really get on those guys to put out quality material. This album, very good. Prog out of Poland, and Ian loves it too. So that's good. Ian and I agree.
There you go. Hey, if Ian likes it, well then that's all we need to know. Ian likes it.
We have two instrumentals on here, there's a lot of instrumental passages on here, but I couldn't pick like the opener because Mary Studa comes in and sings. Really, really good instrumentals. I thought about when I first heard this, I'm like, these guys are maybe not the world's greatest musicians. And then I heard this, and I'm like, yep, I'm wrong. These guys are really, really good.
Really
good. Great guitar work from the late, I don't remember how to say his name, Peter something.
Grodzinski.
Does anybody know how to say the guitarist from Riverside's last name?
Grodzinski.
Okay, good job. Good job, Scott.
Something like that. It's close. Amazing.
Instrumentals give a strong Dream Theater vibe on an otherwise very atmospheric, dark, depressing album that you play in the dark by yourself when something bad happened in your life. So really, really good album.
Good pick.
And my number one, I wanted to stick with 21st Century, and this is my favorite instrumental from Dream Theater in the 21st Century.
You're gonna make me cry because me and Tristan were supposed to see them in Atlanta, the only show that got canceled on the entire tour.
Oh no.
We checked into the hotel and we were walking towards the venue when
Atlanta,
my phone rang.
Yep. That was the Atlanta show.
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh man. Hopefully they'll ever reschedule.
I should say I'm just going to give on a comment about that show. Every time I see bands, I always go to the internet, look up the set lists, and plan my pee break.
Me too.
And because that's just something that is necessary for me. And I plan my pee break around that song, This Is the Life, because I don't like that song. And then I come back in. I come back for the bathroom. That song's still going. It's like 8 minutes long. I'm like, let's just get this over with. This whiny song. Let's get that over with. More comments on that during our Dream Theater ranking.
And there you go.
But
that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we have Kiefer on this show.
Then they played Vacant, and I'm like,
and it's 2.5 minutes. What's the problem? It's 2.5 minutes.
I don't care. It puts me to sleep.
You gotta go through Vacant to get to Stream of Consciousness. It's just how it goes.
I'm sitting there, and then I'm like, just get off the stage, Petrucci, because I don't know what he was doing. He was going all over the place. I don't know what he was doing. And then they stopped, and Portnoy walks on stage, and Labrie walks off, and he starts going playing Stream of Consciousness, and I just start screaming. It was so awesome. I mean, I'm like, you just played 2 ballads, and then you played this, and it was the best song of the night. Not even close. That and Home were the best songs of the night.
I guess they didn't do Octavarium at your show.
They did. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of the Octavarium piece.
Oh man!
Of course you're not. Songs.
Of course you're not. You know what I'm talking about.
The epic where nothing happens for 8 freaking minutes.
Oh no, you're not hearing it right.
It's better live on the best version of Octavarium is on the DVD, where where Jordan takes like the 5-minute continuum pad solo. It's pretty great. My version, the solo was short, so.
There you go. Well, Tristan, you've been having some problems with your Wi-Fi. He's on the road, ladies and gentlemen, with Between the Buried and Me, somewhere between Omaha and Albuquerque. Dodge City you pulled over just for little old us. So I want to hear Tristan's take on all this nonsense we've been hearing out of Kiefer. What? You've been silent. You've been silent for too long. Let's hear what an actual rock star has to say about it.
Prog star.
Man, so some good picks in there, absolutely. But also, yes, Ross, fantastic vocalist live. He's the man. He's the man. Vacant, good song. Stream of Consciousness, great song. Yeah, heartbreaking experience to not see that show just yet. Hopefully, still holding out hope.
Yeah, well, you get to see the Parasomnia tour, and
I just want to see Octavarium.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I just need to see Octavarium. All 23.
Good luck staying up through that.
It's past your bedtime, Kiefer. Let's put him to bed, boys and girls. Kiefer, was nice having you on.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, all these, there's a question that I think Scott asked Scott. It was, I mean, just about wanting to be instrumental. It's like, or sometime in February in particular, the way it started was like, okay, I wanted to have my own little project, write my own songs, and I'd always had that idea for years. And I don't know, originally I wanted vocals, and
everybody does,
but also I wasn't very good at writing lyrics, and also I wasn't really a singer. So, I don't know, I just couldn't have anything that was, like, quite true to me, do that. So I was like, okay, well, instrumental's the way to go, because that's something I know I can do. And, it took a while, lots of trial and error before I could actually write some stuff that I was happy with, that was, like, made sense as instrumental music, because it's so easy to, I don't know, I'm, like, a huge critic of instrumental prog music. So much of it, it's so easy to sound the same and indistinguishable from, your peers in the same genre. It's, and I, of course, be very critical of myself for writing that, the stuff I would write. So it took a while, but then it's like, okay, I think I'm writing some stuff that, sounds and feels engaging throughout, because it's so hard to, kind of keep interest or just not be repetitive.
It is. It's, as a songwriter, it can't always be easy. You're in a genre where there's certain expectations and whatnot. And let's just face it, there's only 12 notes in music. So it's incredibly hard to do something, that's a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. Yeah. And I was just wondering if you'd be okay if we play a song off the album.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I was kind of thinking about playing that lead off track because it's the first thing I heard by you guys because I kind of missed the single with Paul. So my first encounter was when Inside Out gave me the files, and I'm like, okay, oh boy, another Inside Out band. Here we go. And it's like, my expectations were not particularly high. And I was wrong. Cody, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I love this band. I love this track in particular. So we're going to play it. It's called Palantir, and it's dynamite. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, that was great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, that sound quality got a little crunched from the streaming, so definitely go check that out. You know, Spotify, YouTube, wherever. And I appreciate you playing. I'm not saying I have an issue with that.
Exactly. Now, StreamYard does not. I don't know. We actually pay for the premium StreamYard. So, unfortunately, Kevin from Prog Radio is not with us today. He says he's got a solution to our audio problems going forward, boys and girls. So, I apologize. You get the idea, right? It's an awesome track. But I love the video. I think it's fun seeing you guys in the garage. And then you're out in the field, right? That's pretty cool. Because
I see a comment asking about the cows. That was one of the funniest things. Yeah, Morgan definitely summoned the cows because he went first in the field video shots, his little solo shots, and we had a Bluetooth speaker playing the song. And as soon as the song was ringing through the fields, all those cows just came right up and watched him play bass. Like, no joke.
That was really.
Were you worried about the cows running up and destroying the drums or not?
Nah.
Just joking. You know, Tristan, you brought up a good point, which I think a lot of the modern scene suffers from this. If you can't write for vocals or you can't write lyric or any of that, don't. It's something that I wish this scene. It was particularly a problem in the 70s. You'd see, Scott will know what I'm talking about, all the Italian bands, PFM, Bonco, we could name all the other ones, when Greg Lake signed them, they started doing terrible English language versions of some of their material.
Awful. Hideous. Terrible. So bad that even Pete Sinfield and Peter Hamill couldn't be counted on to write good lyrics. Just terrible.
Yeah, do not buy those if you see them in the record store.
Avoid at all costs. Any of the Italian bands, if there's an Italian and an English version, absolutely avoid the English at all costs.
Well, even if I don't understand the language that's being sung, I would much rather listen to the original. Like, there's a Japanese fella, Tatsuro Yamashita, I think is how you say it. He's kind of, I kind of consider him like the Paul McCartney of Japan. Kind of has that same just vibe, and all this stuff's Japanese. I have no freaking clue what he's saying, but I enjoy it. So,
well, there's an advantage to that because some of us, myself included, get really bothered by annoying, silly lyrics.
Yeah,
particularly.
Absolutely.
I get bothered by bad rhymes. I'm looking at rhyming bloody tears with smoke and mirrors as a bad rhyme, as an example of a bad rhyme. But
there's plenty of them out there, Keeper. We could do a whole segment on that.
Lyrical content too tends to bother a lot of people, but bad lyrical structure. So I appreciate the fact that in 2025 progressive rock metal scenes, it's acceptable to do something where you say, okay, I don't want to write for vocals, or we don't have a good vocalist, or we don't blah 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 blah. So we're not going to do it. We're going to scratch that completely. And
look who's here, Keeper. It's the one, the only, the myth, the legend. It's Naomi from 365 Days of Prog. You're awesome. We miss you. Your iceberg video, if you guys haven't seen that, just amazing. She's one of the true great talents on YouTube. And, we bow before your greatness. But Cody, Tara, you guys have been oddly silent all the way there in Ontario. I think it's time you guys enlighten us on your thoughts on this whole subject. And Cody, was that your first time hearing Sometime in February?
That was my first time hearing Sometime in February, and I'm quite blown away, actually, particularly as a drummer. I was listening to what Scott was playing, and I'm going, the man.
Yeah, Scott's all right. He can play a little bit. He's decent.
Yeah. From time to time.
No, we're going from Slipknot.
It's that bass player we got to get rid of, though. That guy ain't no good. Oh, wait a second. Morgan's still on the stream. Oh,
no, it's fine. I agree.
I love how eclectic the sound was. I love how we're going from blast beats to like funk grooves to all over the place.
That's what I love. Yeah, that's when you mix it up like that, Native Construct style, where I don't know where you're going next. I love that stuff.
I got to give Tristan some credit, though, because a lot of times the original demo will have some of that crazy back and forth stuff already on there. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to come up with anything cooler than that. So I'll just do it to the best of my ability.
The whole thing was really good. The whole thing was really well executed, and the guitar playing was awesome. The bass, the whole concept of the trio was great. What do you think?
I was blown away by your ability to go all over the map in one song. Like that diversity is something that you don't get very much. So fair play to you all. That was incredible.
That's why I played that track. It's awesome. The whole album's really, really good. Check it out. It's called Where Mountains Hide. It's on Inside Out Music, which means Sony distributes it. You can get it anywhere and everywhere. I don't want to hear your lame excuses, but I don't know where to get it. Just Google it. You'll find it.
Go buy it.
Your weak excuses don't work in the Prog Corner, boys and girls. It's 2025, and we're all adults. So do your due diligence and buy it. I told you to buy it, so buy it. There it is.
Yeah. Cody and Tara, I admire your positivity.
And do not copyright strike me, Sony. You see what I'm doing here? Fair use. I'm one of the good guys. Cody, Tara, what do you have for us? Do you have a list?
Yeah, we've got 10 songs each. I'm gonna let her start.
All right.
Let's
you.
go.
So number 10 is Fracture by King Crimson. Robert Fritz's ability to put across that horrific sound is always incredible. Team 1 by Van der Graaf Generator, one of the very early songs I would have heard in Prog that completely pulled me in. So I'll always credit that as one of my early influences. Now this one, it's mainly instrumental, but there's some lyrics at the end. Los Endos by Genesis. Absolutely fantastic track. Great way to end the album.
It counts.
Yeah, it does count. The next one is a bit different now. This is Cloudburst Flight by Tangerine Dream. Absolutely love me some Tangerine Dream. Great stuff. Love their ability to use that electronica in with the prog. So awesome. Now, Scott, can I have permission to say a bad word?
Yes.
I'm a bitch for fusion. Jazz fusion. Oh my good God. So I have a lot of that on here. So my next pick is another electronic-y one, The Forge of Vulcan by Hawkwind from Quark Strangeness and Charm. Yeah, absolutely insane way to break up the album. Great stuff. But the rest of my picks are all jazz fusion. So I've got Sleepy by Gong 2 from Espresso. I have On the Way Home to Earth by the Mahavishnu Orchestra, how they end Visions of the Emerald Beyond. Incredible.
Yeah.
Now I have Colosseum and Colosseum 2, so I picked the Valentine.
Two different bands. So one per band rule. You're not breaking that rule.
I know, I'm such a little cheat, but the Valentine Suite, absolutely great stuff for its time, especially to come out with something like that was brilliant.
And anytime Colosseum gets mentioned on this program, I am going to repeat the apocryphal tale that may or may not have been said by Neil Peart, but apparently someone once asked him, how's it? Peart. I say it any way I damn well please. Stop it. Leave me alone.
Go ahead.
My show. Anyway, he was once asked, what's it feel like to be the greatest drummer on earth? And he said, I don't know. Ask John Heisman. Yeah. Don't know if it's true or not, but I love telling, I don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah. He was a genius, John Heisman. The things he came up with for those two bands were just fantastic. So my second pick is from Colosseum 2, and it's War Dance. So the title track of that album. Yes. And of course, I'm going to pick Gary Moore as well. So from his solo album, Back on the Streets, Hurricane, because he brought in the guys from Colosseum 2 onto that album, and they just went absolutely mad showing their chops.
I've never heard that album, Tara.
Oh, Scott, you love it. Absolutely brilliant.
I love Gary, but I don't know Gary like that.
Well, Gary's jazz fusion capabilities were just off the charts, as you know from Colosseum 2. So I highly recommend you go and check that album out because they're all over it. So that's my list.
That was awesome.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Sarah bringing the good stuff as per usual. I don't know how you're going to top that, Cody.
I'm not even going to try. All right. So I saw her list, and honestly, I have some jazz fusion in mind. I've got some metal. I've got some jazz fusion. I've got some stuff that you think that you automatically assume I'm going to put, and then some stuff that maybe you'd have no idea that I would put. But her list is awesome, and we listen to a lot of these songs pretty regularly, actually, especially the Gary Moore stuff is just, it's awesome. Yeah, she's the best. Isn't she the best? Round of applause for Tara.
We love Tara. Tara, yeah, you're always welcome in the Prog Corner. Yes, your fiance, perhaps not so much, but that's all right. That's all right.
All right, so my list, not really in any particular order. There's two metal songs on here, but you'll see why they work. And there's a lot of jazz fusion, and we'll get to it. I'm going to start off with a band that we just saw last week. I have to do this. Yes, I know it's not Prog. This is the one non-Prog pick of the list. It's Metallica with The Call of Cthulhu. There's just no way. There's no way, especially after we saw them do it live last weekend. There was no way I was not picking it. The Call of Cthulhu is
who says Metallica's not Prog?
I don't know who says that.
I beg to differ. I could make a very strong case that the first four Metallica albums, all four of them, had extremely strong progressive metal tendencies.
And in particular, and Justice for All. I mean, I probably could have picked To Live Is to Die from that album, but the Call of Cthulhu really it does something to me, especially seeing it in a live setting. It's just it's off the charts.
At least you didn't pick anything from the corporation formerly known as Metallica in 1991 to present.
Well, I think that's ridiculous, but anyway.
Leave the Black Album alone. The Black Album did what it was supposed to do.
Hey, it's not bad. I don't mind that one song where it's on Inner Sandman. I don't mind
the Black Album did exactly what it was supposed to do in the exact same way that the first Asia album did exactly what it was supposed to.
Don't even get me started.
So moving forward, Jeff Beck from the Wired album, Lead Boots. Just wow. I mean, Jeff Beck is mostly known for his blues stuff, especially with the John Mayall and the early stuff he did with Rod Stewart. But when he went in the 70s, he went full force for the jazz fusion stuff, as can see on Wired and Blow by Blow. And Lead Boots is just a great track. And so I was listening to that album the other day. I had to pick it. Next up, Billy Cobham from Spectres.
Oh.
That was from the Spectrum album. Sorry, Blue Oyster Cult.
Pick a song.
Billy Cobham, Quadrant 4.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Pick a song, any song.
The blueprint for Hot for Teacher, no less. That drum groove is just absolutely amazing. No one was playing like that at the time. What was that, 1973?
Yeah,
73. I got 3 words. Jan effing Hammer.
Yeah.
Hey, Scotty, are you a Billy Cobham guy? Are you hip to Billy Cobham's drumming?
I'm familiar generally, but I have not dug deep, and that's probably I've got some pretty bad blind spots, frankly, and that's one of them. So I've been writing some things down today that I need to go educate myself on.
Yeah, Billy Cobham, I think, actually is a bullseye for what you guys are doing. Just in terms of the eclectic nature of how he approached jazz drumming. He had a rock and roll heart, but he was playing jazz drums. Billy Cobham.
Insane drumming.
Insane, yeah.
Your homework is the 3 albums that Mahavishnu recorded originally and that first Billy Cobham album.
Yeah,
that first Billy Cobham album is so good that he's put it to the test like 50 times, and he's never topped it.
No one hard to top
that.
Right?
Very good.
The first 3, because there's a lost one, the Lost Trident Sessions. Not the vocal stuff. The vocal stuff isn't very good.
There you go. There's the one to write down, boys and girls. If you're not hip to Billy Cobham, the first 2 Mahavishnu albums,
go buy it.
Absolutely. But
and
that
Lost
first
Trident.
Billy, Spectrum.
And the Lost Trident.
By the way, real quick, Tristan's connection's not letting him back on. He says he's sorry. He sends his regards, and he also told me his top instrumental prog song of all time that I will share when the time is right. So
fantastic, good deal. So Cody, when wow.
So
after Cody gives his list, all will be revealed. This is exciting. So no pressure on you, Cody, to deliver. You're the fluffer now.
I think I've got it. So after Billy Cobham, I chose, and this one's probably an obvious one. I think Jeff Schilke is going to like this, but yes, in The Fish, Schlanderia Praemateris, one of the best recorded bass solos. Can you think of any other recorded bass solos that wasn't my generation and that was in an instrumental song like this? I mean, yes, I know Chris comes and sings that melody, but it's an instrumental. For the love of God, it's an instrumental. Sure. And it's awesome. And it's a very famous one, too. I mean, typically when the radios play long distance runaround, they're going to play that with it,
Yeah, they do.
You can't. I feel the most blue balls when that gets cut off.
I've never heard it cut off on the radio.
Me neither.
If it comes on Apple Music or something and they try to just play long distance runaround, I immediately pull over the car and I cue up the bass solo to come up after it because I have OCD. But The Fish. Next one is Al Di Meola from the Elegant Gypsy record. We're going with the song that Megadeth have definitely borrowed a time or two, Race with Devil Down Spanish Highway. Absolutely just a brilliant piece of music. And the drumming, the work between Al Di Meola and the drums on that is just absolutely
2 drums on that.
Fantastic. I believe it's Steve Gadd.
I believe it is too.
Yeah, I believe it's Steve Gadd.
Elegant Gypsy. Was that off of?
Yeah.
No. Lenny White.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, well, regardless, I know that the musicianship is off the charts, and that
this lineup is pretty insane.
But yeah, Al Di Meola. That's kind of it for my jazz picks. But next up, this is actually very jazzy. Frank Zappa, Peaches on Regalia. That's an obvious choice. Has to be here. It's I could have picked anything from that album for the most part, but that one it's short. It's to the
except
point.
Willie the Pimp.
Yeah, but this song is short.
No vocals infusion.
There you go. But it's to the point. The melodies are beautiful. It's actually very catchy. It's happening, and it's a great piece of music, and it grooves and everything. It's got it all, and it's beautiful. Next up, we're going to 1981 from Phil Collins' first solo album, Hand in Hand from Face Value. I love the way it's set up with the roof is leaking and then droned and hand in hand. The way it's all set up like a block of music. But I'm just going for this one piece here. And again, it's not fully instrumental in the fact that it has a vocal singing the melody line, but there's no words. It's an instrumental. And it's just I think it's an awesome piece of music. I love when the drums come in that you listen to it on a good stereo and the drums come in and just punch you in the face. That record just has that all over it. But the horns and the whole jazzy feel of it, I had to go for it. It's a very awesome pick. And Phil Collins appears on the next track as well. I love that someone else Metallica song. That's really cool.
Hey, Ken Golden's in the house. We've been talking your
Kenny
praises
in the house
all afternoon, Kenny.
You're welcome.
We love you so much. Thank you for getting that.
Thanks for putting out awesome music.
Oh yeah, you're a good man. We don't care what
we should have
Pete
Ken
Pardo
on the
says.
show. We should have Ken on the show.
Agree. Ken should definitely come on. That'd be awesome.
Do like the top 10 Laser's Edge sensory for electric sound releases.
All right, well,
with Ken.
Next up,
you never know what could happen.
Phil Collins, Hand in Hand, and we're going to another track that Phil Collins played on in 1975. It is not Brand X, although I love Brand X. Ace of Wands, Steve Hackett from the Acolyte record.
Great record.
That it had to be here. I mean, the way it just the drumming explodes at your face right off the top. As soon as you put the needle on the record, you're just met with this absolute chaos, insanity. Steve Hackett started off his career with a great thing here.
I think I heard that record before I heard any Genesis album.
Wow, you and Steven Wilson. Steven Wilson was the same as far as that's what
I heard. Selling England years ago, and then I heard that record's insane. That closer, that track Star of Sirius is so much fun. That song's awesome.
What an amazing album. And some people like to refer to it as the Lost Genesis album, which of course is silly and ridiculous.
I would probably put that above every Genesis album except Selling England and the Lamb.
Well, that's because you hate Tony Banks.
I don't hate Tony Banks.
Yeah, you do.
You can't hate Tony Banks.
You do. You're a Tony Banks hater. We know you are.
I am not a Tony Banks hater, but I do have my opinions on him that will be shared later.
Keep going. Hey, Scott Barber's got some. He's got the scoop, man. He got the info. He got it straight from the horse's mouth, man. Scott's got the 411 on all things. According to Tristan, and that's what really matters on this episode today.
Exactly.
I got only 2 more cuts.
Oh, you do have 2 more. Oh, I'm sorry. I cut you off in midstream. Boy, that never happens around here, does it? Oh, wait a second. Every week that happens. My bad.
A pretty obvious pick for me, especially given my T-shirt right here, right now, being Dream Theater, has to be Dance of Eternity. Just fantastic. I do a drum cover of that on my channel, Brock Boys Vinyl Bites, if you want to check it out. And last but not least is Rush, La Via Strangato. I did a drum cover of that as well. But just, the top 2, those are static and everything else can switch around. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now, Cody, how long did it take for you to learn Dance of Eternity?
Not as long as you'd think, actually. A couple of listens and I got it down pretty.
Yeah, I would assume. People were yelling upstairs. I would assume Portnoy kind of writes his parts so you can figure it out, but I'm not that good of a drummer, so.
Well, I'm still.
I've probably sat down about 30 or 40 times and tried to learn Dance of Eternity at a keyboard. I haven't gotten it. I can kind of get the solo. I can kind of get that, but I can't get anything else. and I could get.
You'll get it. You'll get it. It's not impossible.
For whenever Cody and I do the synced up Dance of Eternity version.
Thank you guys.
I would first have to program that the keyboard for that, and that would be annoying. So.
Oh, Kyle, I can always count on Kyle with the obscure one. Call Florence Powell. Awesome. Good obscure pick. Love that band. But like I was saying before I cut you off, Cody, we want the skinny. We need the scoop from Scott Barber. First of all, we're talking about all these drummers and whatnot, these Portnoys and these people, and
Oh, I forgot we got a drink because we said Portnoy.
Oh, that's right. It's that kind of show. Anytime you say Portnoy, the drinks come out. No alcoholic beverages for you, Kiefer?
No. If we're talking Portnoy, we can't drink, right? Because he had that AA suite.
That's right. It's the 12-step suite. That's right. So what do you got for me, Scotty?
All right. Well, Tristan and Cody have the same top pick. Make sure I'm saying is La Via Strangiato. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's all right.
Close enough.
Pretty close.
La Villa Strangiato. So
I almost went. I wasn't going to go with that. I almost went with Leave That Thing Alone, which I love. I love that track.
Ooh.
I almost went for Where's My Thing from
yeah. I wanted to pick stuff from albums that I like, and I like Where's My Thing, but I don't like that album, so I didn't want to do it in the service of promoting it. So Counterparts, I thought Counterparts is awesome, and that song was awesome. I wish I would have picked it, but I didn't.
But you did not. So Scotty, do you have any picks of your own you want to talk about?
Like I said, I kind of have more a list of bands than songs. I wish I had prepared differently, but that's okay, I guess.
It doesn't matter. There are no rules. This is the prog corner, man. We do what we want. This is prog rock.
Progressive.
No rules.
I guess I can say a band, and if anyone would like to wax poetic for a minute about said band, that might be
Do it.
cool.
Yeah, good call. Let's play.
All right, so I want to take a quick second to talk about Scale the Summit that I mentioned earlier. That's one that I've seen some comparisons with us, and I tend to agree with that.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a tad. I will say, this is kind of biased, of course, but I feel like Tristan writes better songs, maybe. Like, that's one thing that I really like about being in this band with Tristan, is that in his viewpoint, like, songwriting is still the most important thing above the virtuosic playing. So if the actual tune to start with isn't good, he won't even, continue to work on it. Whereas, some prog stuff can get kind of twinkly, plinky, whatever, where it's just, oh, look at these dudes just showing off. Like, I feel like that's one of our stronger suits, is that we're not, we do show off, don't get me wrong, but that's definitely not the top goal for us, at least. Anyone else have anything to say about Scale the Summit?
Awesome band, love them, and I can definitely hear the comparisons are not completely out of control there.
Yeah. Already talked about Animals as Leaders a little bit. Already talked about Plenty a little bit. Liquid Tension Experiment, Dream Theater adjacent. I actually really like their more recent, like LTE 3.
Yeah,
like,
why is everybody hating on LTE?
That's their best album.
It's as good as the first.
I should have expected that hot take from Kiefer after watching this past hour.
But it is a really good album. I don't think it's their best album. That's crazy talk. But it's outstanding.
And I thought the improvisations were better on that than they were on that Spontaneous Combustion thing.
That's what I was about to say. Is I really like the improv tracks. Like, there's just a vibe. They have a vibe. I don't really know how else to put it.
Those were so good, and the production on that was so good.
And it sounded like they were having fun.
That awesome version of Rhapsody in Blue, which just is
incredible. Yeah.
So much fun. Yeah.
And then I think we can thank that, as well as the John Petrucci solo album, which is also on my list, the more recent one, Terminal Velocity.
Not a bad record.
I think we can thank both of those for his grand return to home base, which, obviously I'm very excited about. He's probably my top drummer if I had to pick one. That's one of the things that the criticisms of our stuff is like, this guy's ripping off Portnoy. It's like, well, no crap, I'm ripping off Portnoy. He's like the king. So
what are you gonna do? I mean, stop.
Yeah. Let's see, some more obscure stuff. I'm not sure if it's Exvius or Exvius, but it was a project from two guys that were in Cynic when they reformed in the late 2000s.
I remember that.
And it's kind of fusion adjacent. Really like that stuff. And then they deformed that band to start a band with vocals. They traitors. I can't believe it.
Gordian Knot, is that what they went? No, that was
no,
Sean.
that's Paul and Sean, I think.
That was Sean. That was on Sensory.
Yeah, that was the Seans. I think both the Seans actually in that case. Let's see here.
Yeah, Ken Golden just chimed in about Gordian Knot in the chat.
And then I went ahead and I did list all the Dream Theater instrumentals on my little list. I mean, I like them all for different reasons. Erotomania is one that I really did.
Instrumental.
One of the first Dream Theater songs I learned how to play on the drums.
Great track.
Not too terribly complicated. And of course, Stream of Consciousness, previously mentioned. Love that song too. Dance of Eternity. Some good stuff. Want to bring a little bit of attention to one of our label mates, another newer signing, Asymmetric Universe. Those guys are nuts.
Pardon?
Kind of Asymmetric Universe is the name.
Where are they from?
Italy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, somewhere in Europe.
And it's a brothers. They're two brothers, and then they have like a session drummer, I'm pretty sure. And they're doing kind of that more along the lines of Animals Leaders with the really rhythmic stuff, but their older material is very fusion tinged. So I definitely recommend checking out their older stuff too.
Hey, Wayne's in the house, Cody. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's
Wayne. We're
Canada
Wayne
assault.
soon. We're gonna have Wayne back soon. Absolutely. We miss you, Wayne.
I think I saw in a comment somebody said something about Battles. That's a artist I haven't thought about in a while. That's the drummer from Helmet, right?
And he did. John Anderson appeared on one of their records.
Yeah,
very strange band. Very cool band.
Very cool.
Naxatras from Greece. Absolutely. All instrumental, kind of, modern take on. Well, if Pink Floyd rocked a little bit harder and never sang, they'd be Naxatras. Very, very good band. What else you guys got? You got some more. You got some more for us, Scott, or does Morgan have a few he wants to?
I mean, I have more, unless Morgan, you want to interject for a minute, or you want me to keep going?
I don't care. It's the product. No rules, right?
No rules whatsoever.
Let's see.
There is one rule, Cody.
Yeah.
You know the rule. The rule is when the door starts getting like notes slid underneath it, very subtle little signs that the wife is telling me perhaps the stream's gone a bit long. That's the only rule around here. My wife is the absolute boss, and we defer to her. But so far, it's been kind of quiet. I'm not hearing any signs of distress. We could probably go another 5-10 minutes.
Cool. I put Textures, the song by Cynic, on my list. They're largely not instrumental, but that's a great one. That album, Focus, took me a long time to fully understand, and I was born the year before it, or 2 years before it came out, so I can't even imagine being around in the early 90s, listening to their kind of previous death metal stuff, and then that's the first album they put out. I'm sure a lot of people were kind of thrown off, didn't really know what to think about it, and I mean, even for me, it took years of listening before I finally was like, okay, this is some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Scott, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm about to be 33 at the end of the month. So
Okay. I'm turning 27. He's 26.
Nice.
Kiefer turns 42 next month.
What's that?
The answer to life, the universe, and everything in it.
42. That's right. Kiefer turns 42 next month. He looks very young for his age, but trust me, he is 41 today.
Age very gracefully.
He's gonna get the chin strap going.
I sleep in Tupperware. I never age.
All right, Morgan, what do you got for me?
One thing that I thought about as we were talking that I do have to, since we were talking about jazz fusion and stuff, is Extraction with Dennis Chambers, Victor Wooten, and Greg Howie. I've never really known how to say his last name.
Hal.
That album is like one of my absolute favorites on the planet. Like, it's so tastefully done. But like Scott, I had more artists than I did like songs.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Rattle some off. And
that what's that Jap fusion record that Greg Howe was on? Tetsuo Sakurai, Gentle Hearts. That record is insane. Everybody go buy that record.
Gentle Cody, Hearts, you should be ashamed you didn't mention Myriador. We were talking about you didn't have a single Canadian artist on your list.
Yes, I did. Rush.
It was his top one.
It doesn't. Everybody has Rush on every list, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah, so Julie corrected us. Yeah, we needed to have that on there. And Morris is talking about Hot Butter. Remember that song, Popcorn?
Gershon Kingsley.
It's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. Thanks for that.
How great is that song? That song is so amazing. I miss the good old days when anything could be a top 40 hit.
Gershon Kingsley. That was written by Gershon Kingsley, one of the pioneers of the Moog.
Yep.
Great song. I love that song.
Indeed. Awesome. All right, Morgan, what else? What else you got, Morgan?
So there's this band that I actually just started listening to about 2 days ago called Lights of Scotty.
Okay.
They have this like cinematic experience. They're like prog metal, instrumental. Everything that I've heard from them so far has just been like super big and just very in your face, just very, very powerful moments, very melodic. And then they'll just go into these like breakdown sections and then back into this like very melodic, like ethereal kind of thing. It's really cool. The first song I heard from it was called Book of the Dead. But that's it's featuring Jesper Jansen. But that's an artist that I've been kind of listening to pretty hardcore the past 2 days. But then, like, I know we've said like Pliny and stuff. If I had to pick a top song, it'd probably be Selenium Forest is my favorite from Pliny. I'll leave that thing alone. We've been talking about that. That's another really good one. That's
amazing.
That song's insane.
How does Keeper know all this stuff at his age, man? It kind of freaks me out.
42.
Yeah, that's right. He's 42.
I can do. I know more than most of you guys. I'm 42. I have experience.
He did his homework clearly instead of being like me and just listening to the bands that were influenced by all the original guys.
He's a freak of nature. That's why he's on the show. I find talent. Look at Cody and Tara. Not only do we find talent, we bring talent together from across the world, around the globe. It's just an exciting time here in the Prog Corner.
Sorry for me interrupting. You know what nobody said? Tamic or however you say. Eric Gillette's band.
Eric.
That's pretty much how I listen to Eric Gillette since I can't do the crazy vocal thing. But
man, they were supposed to play Prog Power and they couldn't hack it due to visa stuff, and that's very disappointing.
Very disappointing. Eric's a beast.
Thank you, U.S. government.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't go there. What else you got, Morgan?
So there's a lot of the ones I'm about to name are people I've just kind of picked up. There's a guitarist kind of in the same vein as like Jakob Zaiteki. Goes by Regressor. I think he's from like Scotland. Super just very melodic, shreddy instrumental. But actually, I do want to say there's one guy that I was listening to, Connor Kaminsky. Guy can absolutely shred on guitar. Those are some of the artists I've been listening to pretty much the past week. I've been picking up a lot. I can't stay focused on artists lately. I'm just like constantly picking up new artists. So it's kind of hard.
You see, it's that TikTok state of mind.
I don't get on TikTok. It's lately. I don't know. I had like a period of not listening to music.
You caught that right. I don't get on TikTok. I don't lately.
No, so I haven't really been listening to much music due to I've been dealing with some stuff outside of music for a little bit, and like I've had some downtime. It's just been like put on whatever playlists I can find. I'm like, ooh, I like this. Ooh, I like this. And it's just like, it is, I guess, the TikTok mentality.
That's right. You see, you tried to. You see, he was in denial about it. See, not only
I'm in acceptance now.
You've moved on to the next stage. That's what we do. I should have been a therapist. In another life, I was Dr. Phil. I know I was.
Dr. Scott.
Start calling you Prog.
What else you got, Morgan? We got to wrap things up here.
You said Dr. Prog, and I thought you said Frog, so I do have to just put this out here. But like, Les Claypool and the Frog Brigade.
Oh yeah,
that's
for those who could tolerate the vocals in Primus.
Oh, I love it. It's unlike anything I've ever heard.
It's life.
We love it.
Yeah.
I can tolerate Peter Hamill. That's about as far out as I go with tolerating. But Peter Hamill's awesome.
I'd say that Les Claypool is probably not as far out as Peter Hamill goes sometimes. I mean, Les Claypool is just a bit weird, but no, Les Claypool. I mean, yeah, his voice suits what he's trying to do.
I think so.
You know, yeah, I love him.
As does Peter Hamill. I thought he always suited exactly what his music called for. I never thought it was over the top. And people say, that Peter Hamill, he's just so crazy and over. I'm like, when? When's he crazy?
Who else here can say the first time they heard Pod Hearts, they were scared out of their mind?
I was scared. It was the music. It wasn't the vocals.
It was that because it was. I played it like one in the morning. That was that, and I would probably say Lark's Tugs at Aspic.
Oh, that yeah. That album still terrifies me to this day.
That part where I was just sitting there in the dark and the violin came in and
scariest moment in the history of music.
I am going to tell you something scary about Pon Hearts. All right, I've got the surround sound mix of that record, and I've got an 11.
Still sounds bad, but it's still a bad sounding record.
I've got an 11.1 surround sound system here, and during the Plague of Lighthouse Keepers, when the saxophone comes in as the train horn, it's like it's right in the living room. It's like it's right in the room with you, and it's pretty scary for that moment. It's like, oh my God! Like
I should. Just back to Lark's Tugs once. I was in a room with a bunch of I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, a bunch of chicks. I sat down at a piano and I started playing Lark's Tongues Part 1 on a piano. Just a very creepy arrangement of Lark's Tongues that I have. And every chick in the room was dancing. They were finding a way to dance at 5/4. And then I had to switch a patch, and they go da 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 da, and I get people are yelling at me. I'm like, why didn't you stop playing that? That was awesome. It was hilarious.
Great story, Keeper. But we're gonna leave it right there, boys and girls. What a great show it was here today. I gotta thank my guests. Sometime in February, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe I'll weave it into my epilogue. Maybe I won't. Morgan and Scott still on the stream. Tristan, he's somewhere on the road in the tour bus between Omaha, Nebraska, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we don't blame him too much. It's okay. I ain't mad at him. These things happen when you're a prog rock superstar. Kiefer, an amazing performance once again. Cody, Tara, so nice. Please. So nice to see you guys still together and still in love.
Yeah, and still show me ring. And still engaged.
Still engaged.
Congrats.
She hasn't killed me yet.
So while the exit music plays, I'll just be showing some instrumental stuff about, Peaches and Regalia was mentioned. My favorite 38-second instrumental song. I love this one, man. 5% for nothing. Forget about it. People, it's terrible. It's amazing. You write that song. They still do it. The modern proggers, right? They still do it. Your label mates do it. Big Train. Nick DiVirgilio's song Apollo.
Yeah.
That's an instrumental, boys and girls.
That was awesome live too, man.
What record's that off of?
That's Common Ground. La Via Strangiato, of course.
English Electric. That's where they peaked with me.
Lunar Sea by Camel. How about Unquiet Slumbers for the Sleepers in That Quiet Earth?
Yeah. The best.
Somebody tell whoever's remastering those Genesis albums to remaster Wind and Wuthering because it really needs it. Because it sounds like that one sounds like crap too.
Fracture. It's only 11 notes per second. You learn it. No big deal.
You guys are giving me all the homework. I got a lot of learning to go do.
Yeah, the greatest prog rock album ever made, and none of us ever mentioned it.
Yeah, never mind. How about a toccata? Alfredo Ginastera, Argentina's greatest composer, and Keith Emerson just totally makes it even better.
If I were being honest, Carnival 9 Part 2 would be number 1. It's the greatest prog epic ever.
We're talking about instrumentals, though.
Greatest prog album ever. So it's a great song.
Second impression, the jazzy second impression, that's amazing. Yeah,
second impression is incredible.
Griffin opening move. Oh, I love Griffin.
Good band, Griffin.
Any Focus album, because yodeling don't count. Any Focus album. Oh, good people mentioned Billy Cobham. We got to talk about Billy Cobham. We absolutely do. Oh, my dear Lord, the first 2 Mahu Vishnu Orchestra albums.
Yeah. That opening of that album where it just comes in. It's so awesome. And then McLaughlin starts playing. That is such
the Snow Goose. Come on, the Snow Goose.
Sitting on my turntable right now.
Goblin. How much great instrumental stuff did Goblin do over the years? All those soundtracks,
horror movies,
all that stuff, all those horror movies. Behind me, we got Jean-Michel Jarre. We got Bo Hansen. We got Rick Wakeman, 6 Wives of Henry VIII. We've got Vangelis. We got all the good stuff, but I'm going to close it out right here, boys and girls, and announce to you.
Planet X or Sharinian. We somehow bypassed that.
Yeah, we did.
Awesome.
We love Derek.
Great song.
But the greatest instrumental of all time, according to me, is Frankenstein. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, boys and girls. I love you. Join me next Sunday when we've got none other than Rocking Horse Music Club. Yes, Brian Coombs will be on the show. And his new album features none other than Tony Banks, the man that Kiefer hates. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Anyway, boys and girls, the wife is getting restless, so I am out of here. I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. Free Ukraine. Free Tibet. Free your mind. Free beer. Free Willie, and God save King Chucky. Kiefer, do it. Save that king. Oh, let him dance with some snakes, boys and girls. We're going to dance with some snakes. Oh, yeah, we are. These snakes are going, oh, I'll see you next week, boys and girls. Have a great Sunday. I love you.